Welcome to Cruise Industry News for April 15th, 2019. This is volume 25. If you'd like to keep up with the latest in cruise industry news, the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, and chilly chats, hit the subscribe button at any time during this video. In this week's top story, a federal judge Wednesday threatened to stop Carnival Corporation from docking its ships at U.S. ports temporarily as punishment for possibly violating probation, but said she would make a decision at a hearing scheduled for June. Carnival has been on probation for the last 2 years as part of a $40 million settlement. The settlement was reached for illegally dumping oil into the ocean from its Princess cruise ships for 8 years and lying about the scheme to U.S. authorities. While on probation, according to court filings, Carnival Corporation and its subsidiary cruise lines have sought to avoid unfavorable findings by preparing ships in advance of court-ordered audits. In a statement issued following Wednesday's hearing in front of U.S. District Judge Patricia Seitz, Carnival Corporation's Chief Communications Officer Roger Frizzell said, "It appears there were some mischaracterizations made by others to the court. We intend to fully address the issues raised at today's court conference." Royal Caribbean has unveiled new plans for a $300 million office complex at PortMiami, a deal that would allow Royal Caribbean to build a new office and parking garage in Dodge Island was approved in April of 2019. The company plans to spend at least $300 million on the project and hopes to have it finished by October 2020. After a meeting this past week between government officials of Antigua and executives at Carnival Corporation, an agreement is now in place to reinstate the port stops that were canceled about a week or 10 days ago. 3 cruise lines from Carnival canceled ports of call in Antigua after the company stated that government officials have made the cruise lines feel unwelcome. A Carnival cruise ship rescued 23 people who were adrift for 3 days in a disabled boat in the Gulf of Mexico over the weekend. The rescue took place when Carnival Fantasy was returning to Mobile, Alabama during a 4-night cruise to the Western Caribbean. The cruise ship stopped in Cozumel, Mexico on Saturday and was returning to the U.S. at the time of the rescue. Carnival Cruise Line worked with the U.S. Coast Guard to rescue the 23 Cubans who were traveling on a boat from Cuba to Mexico when their boat lost power. After 3 days adrift at sea, the Coast Guard was contacted by one of the brothers in the disabled boat. And finally for today, the Ultimate Wrestling Cruise will take place in 2020, highlighted by the nature boy himself, Ric Flair. Chris Jericho's Rockin' Wrestlin' Rager at Sea Part 2, second wave, will take place January 20th to the 24th, 2020 on the newer Norwegian Pearl out of Miami. That about wraps up today's episode of Cruise Industry News. If you'd like to keep up with cruise industry news, the latest on cruise ships, ports of call, and cruises themselves, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. And hopefully, we'll get together on a cruise real soon.